Yeah, the murder trial of the accused in the death of Bafana Bafana goalkeeper Senzo Meyiwa is set to resume in the High Court in Pretoria this morning. 5 men are in the dock accused of shooting and killing Meyiwa during an alleged robbery in Vosloorus in 2014. But for more on this, let's bring in now our reporter Chriselda Lewis. Chriselda, a good morning to you. A lot of the focus today being on what happens inside the court, but it seems a lot of action outside of the courtroom as well. What are you seeing out there?
Well, that's right, Naledi, a very good morning to you. These are live pictures from the Legal Practice Council, which is just next door, the High Court here in Pretoria, where a fire had broken out a bit earlier on this morning. You can see some of the damage that has been made to this building. You can also see here firefighters are still on scene. If you could come towards this direction, my colleague Siam Shongo, firefighters are still on scene at this particular point. There were concerns, Naledi, that this might have an impact on the operations at the court, as it is just next door. But we see that at this particular point, that might not be affected. The emergency services have managed to ensure. All right, we'll be told to stand right behind the line at this particular point. Thank you very much. So, Naledi, we've been moved at this particular point as a result of this barricade that's been put here for our own safety, we do understand. So what we're told at this particular point is that it doesn't look like that this fire will have any impact on operations at the court. If I ask my colleague Siam Shongo, you will see just the proximity between these two, where the fire itself had taken place, as well as the High Court building, which is just next door. This is where the trial of the murder of Senzo Meyiwa is scheduled to resume this morning. And it does not look like there'll be any interruptions, as I indicated, as a result of the fact that the emergency services have managed to respond to this fire quite promptly. And also, what we do know is that several people have been injured. We don't have an official spokesperson on scene with us here at this particular time, but you can see firefighters have been working to try and ensure that they get this fire under control. We don't have an official figure in terms of how many people have been injured, but what we do know is that when we arrived, we saw some of the people had been lying on the floor, but not injured that much, but they were taken away by emergency services indeed. But what you will also know is that at this particular point, also the Judge Maumela also just arriving here. Just take a look. Judge Maumela in the Senzo Meyiwa trial. Judge, very good morning to you. Is the trial going ahead this morning?
The trial should go ahead this morning.
Are we not expecting any delays?
Not that I know of.
Are you not concerned, Judge, of
the fire?
Well, fire is always a concern, but the progression of the case is also a concern.
You don't think at this particular point there'd be a need to perhaps have the court evacuated as a result of the fire right next door?
I've just arrived. I don't know what the situation is, but I believe if it's not possible to proceed here, we shall have to find other ways of finding another venue.
All right, and also the matters continuing this morning?
It should continue. I don't know of any reason why it shouldn't.
All right. Judge Chifua Maumela, we also managed, you see the judge just arriving in this matter this morning, him saying that he's not expecting any delays in the murder trial of Senzo Meyiwa. We'll see the judge inside once the matter does get underway. But you'll see here emergency services, many people still standing here on the side of the road. Come towards this direction. You'll also see, in addition to the emergency services, the firefighters that remain on scene, you also have an ambulance that has also been brought in here. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to speak to someone who can perhaps tell us how many people have been injured, and perhaps I know there is someone that was brought here for some assistance. So let me just try to look around and see if I'm able to find anyone. Yeah, good morning everyone. Hi, sir, are any of you working inside the LPC? They're working there. All right, let's try to move this direction as well. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Are any of you working inside this building?
No.
No. All right. Are any of you working inside this building? Good morning. Morning, ma'am. Are you working inside the building?
Yeah, we all working.
Oh, you all work inside. Did you know what happened? Can you just tell us?
No, I don't know.
We don't see anything. We just hear the voice because we lock our office and we only go out when we see the smoke. And then we inhale the smoke, that's it. And then we go out. They said we must go out.
Yeah, I saw some people were injured.
Yes, but we didn't see anything because we closed our office and then up until they said we must go. Must go out to the assembly. We don't know.
All right, let me just speak to the church. Sawubona baba kunjani? Ngikhona uboneni la ngaphakathi nawe usebenza khona?
Yeah.
Uboneni?
Angibonanga nix.
Awubonanga nix ne. Some people clearly not wanting to speak to us at this particular stage, but firefighters are remaining on scene here at this particular point, Naledi, and you heard there had been concerns. I did indicate that this might have a bearing on the resumption of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, but at this stage, the judge also arriving, we managed to catch him as he was arriving in his car, and he indicated, of course, Judge Malmela, when we spoke to him a few moments ago, indicating that he is not sure at this particular point if there'll be any disturbances in terms of court proceedings right here behind us. But he will get a briefing, I guess, from the authorities on what needs to take place. But there doesn't seem to be any concern at this particular point about the fact that this might have a bearing on how court proceedings take place inside, including relating to this trial or the resumption of the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial at this particular point.
And just to clarify, Chriselda, at this point we don't have a clear number on the amount of injuries as a result of that fire.
Unfortunately, we do not have an indication at this stage in terms of... Excuse me, sir? Are you able to speak to us? No. Is there anyone here? All right. The spokesperson, we're told, Naledi, will come here to give us an update in terms of how many people have been injured. But what we did see on arrival here was the sum of the people who were injured. In fact, one that I managed to see who had been lying on the ground. He had been treated for some lacerations, and that's all we managed to see at this particular point. This is while these firefighters continue inside. Some of the workers from inside here, the Legal Practice Council, have also indicated that when they arrived, their offices had been locked, but they were told to get out as this fire was spreading to different areas. That had been of major concern at this particular point because you'd know, with the multiple delays as well that we've had in the Senzo Meyiwa murder trial, this would have been really an unfortunate incident if you find that the court is not able to resume today as a result perhaps of the smoke coming from here, which would obviously affect the court building itself. But that doesn't seem to be of major concern at this particular point, as the judge has also indicated he's going to get a briefing in terms of whether they can proceed, but he is quite confident that the murder trial itself will proceed. Also recall, let me just give you an update pertaining to that. You would know that here this morning we're expecting the instructing attorney for accused 1 to 4, Timothy Tobane, to basically continue with this case after Advocate Malisela Tifo had withdrawn from the matter. We know that he had been in consultation with some of the family of the accused to get back onto the case, but that had subsequently been denied. What we also know is that the National Director of Public Prosecutions, or the Director of Public Prosecutions in the South Gauteng Division, had also indicated that they had transferred the matter relating to the second docket, which is docket 375, to the North Gauteng Division, which is here in Pretoria, to decide on whether to prosecute on that matter. Remember, that second docket had been a bone of contention on the basis that in the first docket, the suspects in that matter are the 5 men who are currently before this court. But in docket 375, it speaks to those that were in the house at the time that Senzo Meyiwa was killed to being the suspects. But what we're hearing now is that the Director of Public Prosecutions will only make a decision on that second docket 375, which has those that were inside the house as the suspects. They will only make a decision on that after this trial has concluded. So that's what we're expecting to happen inside this court this morning. We're expecting Timothy Tobane, who is the instructing attorney for accused number 1 to 4, to challenge that circular by the Director of Public Prosecutions, which indicates they'll make a decision on docket 3775 only once the matter itself has concluded this particular trial relating to the first docket. So not much disturbance at this particular point, but certainly it will remain to be seen if we do have any disturbances. We'll know at about 10 o'clock this morning once this trial does get underway.
Our reporter Chriselda Lewis is speaking to us outside the High Court in Pretoria, keeping a close eye on things as they unfold. In the resumption of the murder trial of Senzo Meyiwa, a lot of action happening outside of there. One wonders if this is going to mean further delays for a trial that has a lot of anticipation in the country.